All right, man. Andrew Cleveland, what's up, brother? How are you?
What's going on, man? Good to see you guys.
Nice seeing you.
Thanks for coming out. Really.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, a lot of you guys don't know, man. I've been in Sarasota forever, and you were the first guy that started coaching back in the day. The first name, in my opinion, that was like running wild was Andrew Cleveland, and I never really met you until I met you at Crunch. So give us a little background, man. You've been in this forever.
Yeah, so I've been in the industry for 22 years.
There we go.
And, I started off as a membership consultant. So I worked over at Southside Athletic Club back in high school. And that's what got me into the world of personal training was I got a chance to watch some of these. And I'll drop a couple names that were influential to me back then were Joey Perea. He's another guy in the area. He's been around for a while. Josh Norton, Mike Davis, Chad Saunders. I mean, there's a handful of guys out there that motivated me to get out of PT or out of gym membership sales into PT. And I was terrible at it.
Usually right off the bat.
I mean, I was good at training. I didn't know how to train people, right? So for the first 3 years, it took me, I had a big curve to figure out how do I become a good trainer.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm going back to 03. So that's where I started. And honestly, it just excelled from there. My whole objective, honestly, was to be as good as those names I mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, just excelled me into the education component to it, to getting better at how to, perform better assessments on clients and how to be a better trainer. I mean, I would just analyze and do what they did until I knew why they did it.
Right.
And that excelled me into where I'm at now, man. But it's been 22 years, been an awesome career.
Yeah. And you've done some bodybuilding coaching, right?
Oh, I've coached dozens of people in bodybuilding. Yeah. I mean, I've done 4 shows myself. My wife's done more pageants and fitness shows than I can count. She has more trophies than I got. Not to brag, but I mean, it's ridiculous. But so I got into it because it was a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up as an athlete. It was, powerlifting and wrestling first. And then I loved bodybuilding. I grew up like any other kid who wanted to get bigger, reading the magazines, watching the competitions. And then eventually I'm like, I'm going to do it. And so I've done 4. I competed at the Junior USAs. Didn't do that well. 44 guys in my class, and I did not stand out.
No. Me and you both, man.
One of the 16s, and my critique was I'm way too big. I showed up at 207.
Wow.
And
what did you compete in?
Yeah, what were you doing?
Men's physique.
Okay, guys. So when it first came out, probably.
Yeah. So it was back in the day, man. Probably 2011, 2012.
Yeah. Gotcha.
They were still trying to figure it out, kind of what they wanted. And I was comparing myself to bigger names in the industry that were at pro level. They were in their 200s. I was cutting down from 240, 243 down to that point. I won the last show at 197. And so I figured I'd show up a little bit bigger, try to get a little bit drier, but I want to feel good.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the way I looked. I liked the way I felt. Didn't place well. The guys who won were about $180.
Yeah.
So tried another show after that at 185 and got 9th at that show. I felt terrible and kind of learned from that, and I kind of backed away, went back into more coaching, and I eventually just got into different competitions.
Right.
That's about it.
So you were a big trainer, man, and that's something you really pushed into. You, like me, right? I was a trainer in the beginning, right? But I'm obviously heavily into like lifestyle coaching bodybuilders. You went to the whole training route. How was that for you? And why did you make that decision?
Well, as far as personal training?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I did it because I want to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the biggest thing was I loved, no matter what age, I worked with youth kids that were 8, 9, 10 years old for football, wrestling, golf, worked with IMG for years. But I eventually got into like fitness coaching, lifestyle coaching, because it was fun to see that transformation.
Yeah.
And, that for me, I felt that for myself as well. So I loved going through that journey, and I felt like I could kind of give that knowledge from people from all different ages. If it was going through the fitness, like, competition range, or if it was, I eventually got into more rehab and more corrective exercise work. And that became a big passion of mine, working with different clinics in the areas and different, ortho clinics and whatnot. I love that process. So I've expanded my scope of practice quite a bit over the years. And I think there's excitement and a thrill for me at all levels, just because I want to help.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So what do you like best in terms of everything that you've done so far? Because you've had, like you said, a bunch of scopes. You did some ortho physio kind of stuff. You've helped youths and did IMG. You've done training. You've done bodybuilding. What is the most that you feel is the most impactful to you?
I don't want to take away from any of it, honestly. Right. Honestly, I mean,
it's a hard choice.
I feel like to be a successful trainer, you have to sort of have. You don't necessarily need to be really good at one thing unless it's at your niche, right? If that's all you want to do, You know, like people that I worked with, like Joe Bennett, he harnessed in on that singular kind of niche, and he's great at it. Like you guys are great at it. I felt like I was pretty good at it. I helped a lot of clients and athletes, you know, win, you know, cards, win tournament or win competitions, and that was fun. However, I feel like my business grew when I got more into corrective exercise because I feel like I covered more bases. I can work with the young kids to prevent injury. I could work with the older people that were looking to get more, you know, more just, you know, occupational therapy components. I mean, they want to work on balance. They want to work on core strength. They want to not prevent falling. I would go to people's houses, teach them if they did fall, how do you get up? So that was a big passion of mine for probably a decade. And then now I work with general athletes. I'll do fire, police fire, you know, I'll do some different specific stuff that way for different PFT tests and stuff. I think that's always fun too. Kids going into the military. I was obviously in the military if you guys didn't know, but I get a kick out of all of it.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, I love programming and I love coaching trainers how to program because that was something I struggled with, you know, admittedly for the first probably 5 years. How do I properly program for different clients? Not to program the way I trained for everybody, which I think potentially is an issue in the industry. So how do I got good at that, and now I can help coach other trainers and obviously clients how to do that better too.
Yeah. So that's what you do full time now, pretty much.
On the fitness side, yeah. Yep. Since 2003.
How many hours a week do you do training in person?
Currently, it's not as much because I have a couple other businesses, but one-on-one training probably 12.
Okay, 12 hours a week.
That's it.
Gotcha. And back in the day at Crunch, you were there all the time, man.
Oh well,
God, it was a lot. I seen like every day.
That was during Crunch for the 10 years I was with them. That was my objective, was to be the top producer for the company, right? So I would train up to 17 clients a day, and for years I was their top producer, top trainer, year after year after year. There was a bonus, Andrew's winning it. There's a trip, it's mine. Like I'm competitive. I'm competitive, and people knew that,
sense, yeah.
and I made it fun. Some people didn't like how much fun I made it because it was too competitive. But I mean, there's money in the line. I've got all sorts of fun acrylic trophies in my office, lots of medals and plaques. I like that. But the thing I don't want to take away from that is it's not all about me, right? I mean, I'm helping. The more clients I help, the more obviously awards I win. So the whole benefit was, for me, yeah, I get some accolades, but at the same time, I'm helping more people. Right. But that was there all day until I started having kids. So kid 1, kid 2, kid 3, I had to adjust my schedule to obviously be there more for my kids.
I think a lot of people want to go, they don't know where to start, right? A lot of trainers, they don't know where to start. They start at Crunch. Give us like a base, like money income, because people think they're gonna go there and make $100,000 a year, whatever. What's the lowest you can make? What's the highest you can make as a trainer at one of these box office gyms?
Well, I think Crunch probably offers the best payout opportunity. So I'll speak on that specifically because there are a couple other bigger names out there.
Yeah, but I heard Crunch is the best.
I mean, I have too. So
that's what I heard by multiple people.
They definitely pay the best. I think that's probably, and I've worked with a few other companies. They're probably one of the better companies to work for. I think they offer the best benefits. But as far as like a new trainer coming in, you know, if you're not a hustler, like you're not a go-getter, you really require the front desk to do some of the work for you.
Absolutely.
You may not do as well, right? There's going to be a bigger learning curve for you and a bigger earning curve for you as well. $45,000 on that end. I mean, you could be not an educated trainer and make probably $45,000.
Yeah.
The top trainers, like when I was there, you're making over $200,000 a year. There's trainers there now. I just got some updated information. They're making closer to $3 million.
Wow.
There you go. That's nice.
So, I mean, but
how many hours are they working, man? You know, how many hours are they working?
Well, it's hours for dollars, brother. I mean, this isn't a residual income thing.
Yeah.
So you have to put the hours in.
Like 12 hours a day.
I mean, at
to
least.
make that kind
But
of
you also
money.
have to be creative.
And these guys are consistent with what they're doing, right? I mean, just like you said you were very competitive and trying to get these trips and being the best trainer and doing all that kind of shit. Yeah, you could have trained 17 people in a day, but you could have done that like an asshole, like shit, right? But the truth of the matter is you didn't. You took the fucking time to put in the effort and the work in, right? And to stay consistent. And so that when these people would come to you, they're happy to come to you and they actually tell more people to come to you.
100%.
So are these, I mean, people who are doing now 300K, do they have that same mindset? Or are they fucking?
You have to.
Right?
You have to. I mean, I think that's less than 1% of trainers in the industry are making $200,000-300,000 a year. Let's just be honest.
Absolutely.
The majority of trainers, they will never make that money, only because if it was that easy, everybody would do it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
People come in thinking it's that easy, but you have to be different. Your time management skills, your attention to detail. I mean, your level of apparent care has to be evident. Like, people feel that energy you put off.
Absolutely, 100%.
If I look at you as an X dollar value because I need a client,
Right.
people are going to feel that.
Absolutely.
Maybe not immediately, but they will feel it in the lack of programming, the lack of communication.
Yeah.
There's many ways they'll feel it, right? But they won't come back. They won't refer.
That energy is my first language. You know what I'm saying? I can definitely feel the vibe in the room before you even open your mouth.
Oh man,
You know what I'm saying?
And clients feel it.
Exactly.
And I would be on the other end of that, where they'd say, "Hey, I've been watching you. I want to train with you." But I say, "Hey, before we have that conversation, you have to talk to your trainer. I'm not gonna be that person I don't need to take people's clients."
Exactly.
We're talking about
Same.
at crunch, like people would come up to you and be like, "Hey, I want to work with you."
I've seen how you work. I love it. You know what I mean?
For sure.
I've seen the results that you produce.
For sure.
This guy's not doing it for me. Let's figure it out.
Well, and that happens,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, they're not captive.
Right.
Trainers sometimes feel like, I hate this, but they feel like that's my client,
Right.
right? They chose you because you sold them,
Right.
right? Or maybe the only one that was available in their time slot. Maybe they wanted to work with somebody else. They didn't say it, but that you were available, and that's fine. But if you don't meet that demand, if you don't solve that problem that they have, if you're late, your shirt's untucked, your name tag is crooked upside down, you look disheveled, people are going to look for a trainer that fits that criteria that they're looking for,
Correct.
right? And sometimes it's not me, sometimes it's not you, and I don't take it personal if that's the case. But working at Crunch, you do come across that, or any gym, you'll come across it. But to be a top producer, you have to have a lot of attributes that set you apart from the average guy or female.
Yeah.
And I think if it's not internal, if you don't really want to help people, you'll never, I don't say never, if you get there, you won't maintain it because it's not authentic.
Right.
That's the way I feel about it. I felt like when I was there, and even currently now, I think when people train with me, they feel a level of authenticity that is, that they want to be around, right? I got clients who I've been with for 15 plus years.
Yeah.
And then they still come work with me not because necessarily they need me for every step of the way. I've taught them a lot over those years, but they want me to be there.
Right.
And I think that for me means I'm doing a great job.
Absolutely.
100%.
I would definitely agree with that.
Yeah, man. So I think a lot of trainers, they go wrong though. You know, they'll start training and they're so excited. They get in there, they're excited. And then, like you said, the 1%, and then the people who just truly don't want it and don't want to work hard, their work ethic fucking sucks. So how do we convert these people over to these 1%ers, man?
What's the limiting factor?
Now, limiting factor is their desire to work hard, man, their desire to learn. So what I ran into when I was coaching trainers is I ran into a mental barrier that they thought they knew what they were doing. They thought they knew everything. They didn't need a new certificate. They didn't need to go to that seminar. They didn't need to reinvest in themselves to bring more value. So what they were doing was they were asking for a higher dollar value per session that they earned. That they didn't bring enough value to back that.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm talking about. If you get those clients, you won't keep them because they're paying, let's just arbitrarily say $100 an hour, which isn't far off the average nowadays. You better be there $100 an hour, right? There's an exchange of time and knowledge for sure,
Right.
but they need to leave there every time feeling that they got their money worth,
Exactly.
Absolutely.
right? And that's the case.
I think a lot of people, especially bodybuilding like coaches, they'll be like, "Oh, this guy's charging this amount, so I'm going to start at this amount." When you don't have the work ethic, you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the backing to even charge that. Like I think right now, $250 a month is like the lowest. I've seen it lower, but I think $250 is the lowest, and I think up to like $700 is the highest. And a lot of coaches will come out to be like, "Okay, well, you know, Dustin's over here charging $400 a month, so I'm going to charge $400 a month." When you just got started, and you'll lose the client straight up.
Because then at that point they're chasing a dollar amount and not.
That's it.
Exactly.
And I had to have some blunt conversations with new trainers that they would come in. They go, well, I want to do numbers like Andrew or like Joe Herr or anybody else that was performing well.
Yeah.
And you got to pump the brakes. Say, hold on a second. Well, what do you bring to the table? And we would pick their brain a little bit. I mean, if I'm trying to coach somebody, I'm trying to build their business. What certification do you have? And more importantly, how well do you know the information that you tested
Right.
for that certification.
100%.
And most people, they learn information to pass a test.
Exactly.
Hey, I got that cert. And most certs don't require an in-person or practical exam.
Exactly.
It's all online that you can actually
So
cheat on.
let's talk about certification. So I've openly talked about this. I believe it's one of the biggest scams in the fitness industry. It is. I don't think you need a certification to be coaching people. So what do you got to say about that, man?
Well, I mean, I think you do, because I think knowledge is important, right?
Absolutely. I would agree.
So I think you can obtain knowledge without having certificates,
Right.
right?
True.
It's not there's no license in this industry, which, so there's a regulating body, but there's no licensing like you would for being a realtor,
Yeah.
Health insurance, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
I've advocated for that because I think it would dismantle a lot of these unqualified people, which could be putting people in bad situations, causing injury.
True.
It could be stepping outside their scope of practice, right? So they might be prescribing something, if it's a medication, a supplement, a nutrition plan that may not take a lot of variables into the equation that might hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think there needs to be some level of knowledge there. However, most certifications and most certificates that people achieve are cheap.
Yeah.
They're diluted in information, and they're, quite frankly, probably, worthless.
So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
That's the
if you
reality.
look at, like ISSA, bro, it's an open book test.
It's
Nobody
terrible.
learns a fucking thing. They just go on there.
Terrible.
They pay $1,500 a month to go work a crunch, right? And the problem is you're not actually learning something. Like NASM is an awesome certification. Honestly, I think it's good. I think it's the only one that you should get. You can tell me about your certifications later, but I think that's like one of the biggest ones if you're going to get like something you can buy online, right? And my problem with it is that it's a big scam. Like for me to stay having the certification, I have to do active, like you have to get active credits. You have to get more knowledge, more everything. But it's like $1,500 every year, like $1,500 every 2 years. Like it's just a scam, man. Because you need the ISSA certification to work at Crunch, but then you don't really learn anything. So how do we fix that?
I mean, I think it's a money grab, right? You've got trainers and organizations that just come out with random ass certificates, right? And within the performance, exercise specialization, when it comes to NASM, that covers 3 other, if not 4 other certifications that NASM offers. So if you just go in there and get your PES, Performance Enhancement Specialization, your CES, Corrective Exercise Specialist, and your CPT from NASM, you cover virtually everything in their platform. You get 3, but they have ones for youth, which is covered in the PES and the CPT. They've got ones for nutrition, which is also covered there. Behavior specialization, which I've got all of them, sadly, only because I think it's interesting. I want to know what's
Now,
different.
You have it, but then did you keep it? Like every couple of years, do you keep doing
Here's
active
the
stuff?
fun part, and where it goes into the scam is most of those don't have to be, renewed.
Yeah.
It's a no expiration date.
Yeah.
So you get it one time, you get it back in 2014. Well, guess what? It's still good.
So NASM's like that? Is that how it is?
NASM has a lot like that. Yeah. So so there's value if you have the knowledge. If I can take that knowledge and I can put it into a proper assessment where I can look at your body anatomically and I can say, hey, here's where these discrepancies are. And that's great. I can understand the discrepancies in the human movement sort of system. And from there, I can put together a program that fixes it or attempts to fix it through proper movement mechanics and patterns. If I can do that, I can build a proper program. If I'm looking at somebody and I can't tell what's wrong, what kind of trainer am I?
Right.
Exactly.
Right. So you have to gain that knowledge from somewhere. And nowadays you can watch YouTube, sure.
True.
But then people are going to look at your resume and they're going to go, well, where'd you get the knowledge from? YouTube University. And it doesn't mean you don't know it, but you almost have to have a couple letters next to your name so they actually take you a little bit serious.
Right.
So I'm agreeing that it is partially a scam. At the same time, I do think you have to have it to some capacity.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
I think I always look at it from my side of view, like my point of view, because I was highly in this industry since I was 14 years old, studying everything. So when I first came in, it was like, 20? I was like 28 at the time, 27, maybe 26. I just kind of feel like I knew everything. I did get a certification, guys. I did get it. I got the ISSA one just because I wanted to just get something because I didn't know if I needed it. But I just felt like it was such a big scam, man. And like after I got it, I'm like, this is pointless. Like I should have just gotten NASM. I should have got something else. But I just look at it as, I already knew all the knowledge. And just a fun fact, when I started coaching guys, I was charging people $20 a week. Okay. $20 a week for online coaching and everything. Imagine that shit. $20 a week, bro. That was like chump change. So people get in this industry and they immediately start charging this much. And it's just my biggest pet peeve, man. Oh my God. And then plus you do one show, and then you're immediately coaching.
Oh yeah, you're a coach now.
When you didn't even win the show, and you can't, to be honest with you, you cheated the whole time. You came in fat, and then you decide to coach people. What do you have to say to those people?
I mean, see it all the time.
I mean, well, that we're saying something to a lot of people right now, and so I have trouble with that because I would have clients, athletes that would come to me because I have a pretty good background when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to understanding blood work and stuff like that, and that's something that I took very serious when it came to working with clients. I mean, I'm still that way now. To me to understand your hormone profiles, I got to see your lab work. I mean, if your body's inflamed, how am I supposed to overload your body with a certain level of volume or load, and your body's not going to respond well to it? So we're just kind of throwing stuff at the wall and see if it's going to stick, right? So having an understanding on that's pretty key, where a lot of trainers that are coaching don't have any knowledge on that stuff, right? I guess maybe you don't have to for the generalization of training, but when it comes to coaching, you probably should.
Absolutely.
So when they would come to me, I worked with, I won't mention her name, but a younger female who was being coached by a well-known pro female here in Sarasota, Florida. And her body was completely jacked up. I mean, she wasn't having her period for months and months and months and months, right? Her lab work was completely trashed because this lady had this young 17-year-old female on some aggressive supplements she should never have put it on.
Oh yeah.
Her diet was way too extreme, and it took us over a year to pull her body out of that to get her receptors to respond.
Yep.
And now she's doing phenomenal. I mean, there was a moment there where they said she may never have kids.
Wow.
And now she does. Many of them. Few. Many, I don't know what many means. I guess she has two, right?
How many kids she got, man?
I mean, you got, she has a few.
She's got a litter.
But nevertheless, I mean, you have to unwind that, and it takes a while. So someone did this kind of damage to people because it's not regulated industry, right? So I think there's pros and cons to the whole concept. What do I tell them? I think you better know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you better take it serious because you have someone's health and their life in your hands.
Yeah.
So you should really care about your clients and only make educated decisions based on what you're going to have them do when it comes to training. Don't put them in an unsafe environment when it comes to nutrition or other supplements. Make sure you know what you're doing. Make sure you know what the interaction is going to do. If you don't, refer them to someone who does.
Yeah.
I think that's the way to do it.
I think that you should, like, there's a lot of things that I personally don't mess with, right? I think you have a doctor for a reason. Like, I'm sick of getting clients that come to me and their coach puts them on testosterone, puts them on T3, T4. I have this wellness girl, I'm not saying her names, but bro, first coach ever put her on test, T3, T4, like 75 milligrams of both a day. Never needed it. I saw her blood work before, never even had a problem with thyroid or anything. Started pumping this for over a year. Over a year. So now I'm like, all right, you have thyroid issues for the rest of your life now. They just completely destroyed you. So I'm going through the same thing you did with that girl. And it just sucks because you don't know until you get them. Like a lot of people see IP Pro, they see these big names and they're like, okay, this guy has to know what they're talking about. This has to be it. I'm taking all this stuff. And then they get fucked up.
Yeah, I think that's a bigger issue than people know, right? And they'll join some of these teams that are well known. There was a few bigger names when I was competing that had a history of duplicating nutrition plans, cookie cutter, copy and paste, copy and pasting the same protocols when it came to supplements. And I knew this because they would give me the entire plan.
Yes.
They'd email me everything, and I could compare these two top names here, which were for women's bikini, and they were almost identical.
So two different companies?
Two different companies.
And they were the same plan?
Virtually the same plan.
No way.
Copy and paste. Didn't matter.
Wow.
And that to me opened my eyes. We're going back again, 2010, 11, 12, 13.
When it first started happening.
And it was so significantly a problem that, I mean, I social media was relevant. I couldn't help but like bash these people. Like I'm pushing against a bigger entity here. I was just a single person, but because that was so detrimental to people. They were paying a lot more money than what you're charging.
Oh yeah.
A lot of money. And they're giving them a copy and paste
That's a bullshit
plan. It was garbage.
Yeah.
And I almost had my wife sign up for those teams only because we were looking for the networking.
Yeah.
Like, but there's a big networking component here and what team you're on. And sometimes the head of these teams are coaches at these shows. And so you're trying to play that game. And almost bought into it until I started seeing what was happening. And I thought, it was a waste of my money. And I wasn't safe. I didn't feel like I was putting my wife in safe hands.
Yeah.
So, and that was a bigger thing for me. And I feel the same way with my clients now.
Yeah.
So it's all about putting them in safe hands.
Yeah. I think it's a business, and I think that coaches need to know when to, like, I know the money is there, but you need to know when to put a limit. You know, like the problem is imagine, Andrew, you have 400 clients. How are you coaching 400 clients?
Dude, it's tough.
But how do you do it though? Would you be able to do it?
400? No.
Not a shot.
No, not a chance.
Would you be copying pasting plans at that point if you were just about the money?
You would have to, because you'd have to, or you have to hire a team
Exactly.
that's going to facilitate that.
You're the face.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I think we've all seen that occur over the years, and sometimes it works, but most of the time it doesn't.
Yeah.
Right. So for you to maintain the same level of quality and attention to detail, I don't think 400 is practical. Right. So you got to put a cap on there. If it's 50, I mean, I used to train 50 clients. I mean, both some were competitors and a lot weren't. And I was doing all the programming. So I spent, 15 hours in the gym. I'm spending 4 or 5 hours a day on programming, plus emails, plus phone calls, plus Skype calls. Back then it was Skype.
Yeah.
And my wife was like, dude, you're making this kind of money, but we don't see you.
No, I know.
Right. And once you have those real conversations, it was like, I can't do it. And so I started peeling back and I started analyzing what I could handle that was a balance. I was giving the right value to people, and I was also spending the right amount of time with my family. Then also, when I was referring people out, what coaches were the best for those clients.
Right.
So I had to start distributing out there. And I don't care about getting, when I refer people over, I don't care to get any sort of residual off that. I don't care. I'm just going to refer you because you're the right trainer for them.
Yeah.
I can't handle it. Here's all their work. Here's what we did. Here's what you got. Let me know if you have any questions about what we've been doing.
Right.
And I used to refer out all the time, especially as I started hitting those forks in the road of how do I maintain the quality.
Yeah.
And once I did that, I feel like I was able to maintain that level and the value was there.
Right.
So 400, absolutely not.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
it's
crazy.
not going to happen.
Crazy.
So I think Team Atlas is actually, probably the biggest person that's doing this right now. I don't give a shit. I'll call anyone out by name. I mean, he's doing good. The motherfuckers, everyone looks amazing, but he's the face. Like Dustin said, he's the face. And instead of like getting other coaches, he's just having people do the work for him. So I guess you could say it's the best way to do things. At least he's not like the only one doing it. Cause I couldn't imagine he's got to have 1,000 athletes. Got to have 1,000.
I mean, with the team, and if people know they're signing up for that team, then I guess it's not a big deal.
As long as everything's consistent with their athletes, which everything is consistent.
Well, I mean, hey, listen,
Yeah.
For the most part.
I'm not lying, guys. I've been to all these shows. I talked to all of his athletes. I'm sorry, I'm gonna call him out, but not a single one of his clients followed that motherfucker's plan. Not a single fucking athlete, and he should know this because it's a fucking epidemic over there in Atlas. Because all of them are like, he's starving me. I don't care. He's starving me. He's doing this. I did this because I have to, or else I'd be fucking like they're like under 1,000 calories, like just crazy.
Yep.
You could starve anyone and give everyone a bunch of drugs, and they'll usually look pretty good then. So I don't know if that's what's happening over there, but I just know I'm talking about like 5 competitors, man, like that high level competitors.
That's wild.
That are doing this.
And then that doesn't just exist at that level. I mean, and that you probably have the same issue with some of your clients. Obviously, your clients are killing it. I've been paying attention to that, but
Thank you, man.
you deserve the accolades. You guys are obviously new pro card over here,
yeah.
but I mean, you guys are killing it. And I think a lot of people are taking notice.
Masters O now, so
Yeah, we go to Tokyo.
he's going.
That's
baby.
gonna be sweet.
That's gonna be so.
That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go to Tokyo.
Yeah, I've never been. I'm ecstatic.
Yeah, it's no better reason to go, man.
Absolutely.
But again, it happens at the smaller levels too. And I used to have that with clients. So let me ask you this. I'll ask a question here. What do you do
Okay.
if a client's not following their plan? How do you have that conversation?
Well, we put a video out, didn't we,
So-
Talia?
Yeah, I mean, we did shave one's head though, because she did cheat. But
Saw that.
it's I've been doing this a long time now. It's up to the athlete, man. I'm only as good as my athletes, right? So if I put it this way, if Matt puts a client on stage and he looks like shit, it's not my fucking fault. Okay. It's the athlete is cheating straight up. But I have to say, like, us being, having this big team and nobody wants to let anyone down. So that's why I think we're getting a lot more consistent with the people we're bringing out. But it's tough, man. Like, everyone's a little bit different. I've had young girls who just can't get it together, man. Like, no matter what, they just can't get it together. And then one day they get it together. And let's be honest, Raven has got it together now. She's pro now. Sebastian, another big component of this. He was the one that was cheating every fucking day, like every weekend, all day, like whatever. I couldn't put the damn fork down. Look at him now, just plays fourth in nationals. So I think coaching to understand that you have to be patient with every single athlete. And you have to understand that just work with their mindset, man. You got to work with their mindset. I don't think a lot of coaches understand that,
See, that's that delayed gratification because, I mean, even us as coaches, we have this high expectation when we see these athletes. We already have, like, I'm a sculptor. I'm a creator. I'm going to look at you and I'm going to be like, man, okay, all right, this guy's got the good structure. Mm-hmm. He's got what we need. All right, cool. Now, if I do this, add a little bit of this, boom, 16 weeks, but I think we can do it, right?
Yep.
We can definitely. We're going to slam the door shut. But, you know, and then when we don't meet those expectations, yeah, we're kind of down on ourselves. We get a little upset, but then we have to realize as coaches, just like you realized right now, is we have to, for years, their mindset has to be molded, not just within that 16 weeks, and that's a great first start in a way to build that foundation of a great mindset. But then it carries on over years and years and years. So that's something us as coaches need to sit back and
we're literally therapists.
Exactly,
we're straight up fucking therapists, and and what I've realized is that 90% of the athletes will eventually get it together. So I can't just, and a lot of coaches do this. They'll post, even local coaches, like, oh, I'll never put an athlete in stage fat. Okay, you're lying because you put a lot of athletes in stage fat, but it's okay. And I understand because not all athletes are willing to take shit either. Like, I don't think people don't understand that either. And this is something that I think the whole world needs to understand is that, you know, I'm coaching a lot of natural athletes.
Absolutely.
He's coaching a lot of natural athletes. I'm coaching a lot of people who were 400 pounds coming down. So even if I did put a client on stage that maybe did a little bit of cheating, but they lost 150 pounds to get on stage, I'm happy about that. And I'm proud of them, you know?
First of all, it's a huge difference.
Yeah.
I mean, and I've had clients like that as well. And, you know, you're not looking for perfect the first time, right? So you understand their mindset, understand where they're coming from. It takes a long time to modify someone's habits, their mindset, what environment they're coming from. I mean, I think these sort of, these things take time. And so I think you have to have some patience with clients. I'll say personally, I was very honest with my clients. Setting proper expectations, I think, is super important.
100%.
Yeah.
Here are my expectations for you as a client. Here's what you should expect from me, and here's what I expect from myself.
Yep.
Right? If here comes our 2-week, 4-week, 6-week, whatever assessment, and we're not here, predictably we should be here at these points in time to be on track. If we're not here, then we have to have that conversation of what are we missing? Is it something you're doing or not doing, or is it something I'm missing?
Yep.
And then we can have that sort of reflection time to figure out, how do we stay on track? Are we still on track to be for the show, or if it's something else you're training for, if it's your wedding, whatever. I think that was always big for me, I'd hold myself accountable. Maybe I'm missing something. And if I'm being honest, 8 out of 10 times I wasn't. I feel like I was pretty good about it. But at the same time, I want to leave that door open.
Absolutely.
You know, so if I am missing something, I mean, I'll admit it.
Yeah.
You know, if I didn't follow up on something, if I didn't alter something the way I should have, you know, I'm pretty good about it. I'm pretty OCD on those things. I think holding yourself accountable as a trainer is pretty important. But I want to leave that door open where the client would say, hey, it's not you. You know what? I didn't do this. I didn't follow this. I fell off here. I didn't tell you about it. I knew we'd figure out on the scale or the body fat assessment. And I figured that was always it was an honest conversation. And I think that's what also helped me keep clients.
Right.
And kind of keep that value because I did care. At the same time, I mean, you know, as trainers, we should take that sort of level of accountability as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, I will also say that I've had to let go of some clients for repeatedly not following the plan.
You just let them go.
Well, after we had that conversation a couple of times, we have to say, maybe I'm not the trainer for you. Or maybe I'm not meeting your expectations. Maybe there's obviously we're just not connecting. And maybe there's another trainer for you.
Right.
And I think that's also fair.
Absolutely.
Because it's not all about money for me. I mean, I'm sure you guys are results driven more
100%.
more than a couple $100.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, I don't need money like that. Right? I would rather have someone look great, feel better. If their goal is to lose 40 pounds, I want to see you lose 40 pounds safely and effectively and keep it off long term.
Yeah.
And that's what motivates me. Yeah, it's a service. So I am getting paid for it. But at the same time, if we're just butting heads, what are you paying me for?
Yeah.
Like you're wasting your time and your money. I don't feel good about that. I don't feel like there's a good exchange of services and value there.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it.
Yeah. I've only ever dropped 2 people in my entire career. Only ever 2. One was this big guy. Actually pretty much made him lose 100 pounds. One of my best transformations I've ever had to let him go because he tried me too many times. But then the other one was this lady that was just cursing at me. So me personally, like I said, I feel like I won't drop an athlete unless it's so like unbelievably overwhelming. Because again, like I said, you know, look at Sebastian, man. I could have dropped Sebastian the 3rd show we did when he cheated every fucking time, but I didn't. And I milked his mindset. You have to understand too, is we cannot want it more than that athlete, right? Yeah. I'm getting paid no matter what. Let's be honest. Like you're paying me for you to not follow the fucking plan. If you want to pay me and do that, by all means, buddy, I'll take your money and eventually you'll get there. I'm going to get you there. I'm going to keep giving you 100%. But I got to say, you know, I mean, sure, Delson's going to speak to this, right? If you catch an athlete that is not following the plan, you get discouraged. Like, tell me you don't pull back a little bit.
Absolutely. You definitely pull. I mean, it's hard because you yourself, like you just said, you really you can't believe in them more than they believe in themselves. They have to have that level of respect for themselves to continue to push forth and execute the fucking plan. And when they don't execute the plan and they're continuing to go off, then it's like, yeah, you definitely pull back because you want to see them put their words into fucking action and actually get some more results before then you buy in a little bit more. And that's kind of where I'm at. There's a couple athletes like that right now. And, you know, that's really frustrated me. And, yeah, so.
Because I see it. Like when I get an athlete, man, I see the fucking result.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, I see you standing there with that overall trophy. I see you losing that 100 pounds. And when they don't want it and I want it more than them, I get so frustrated. So I've actually, the more I grew, like as a coach, I realized that I try not to put that on me, you know, because at the end of the day, it's not on me. It's not on Dustin. It's not on you. We can't want it more than them, you know?
I think that's the expectation point you got to set is like, how bad do you want it?
Yeah.
And actually I started doing some, this is kind of an interesting thing. I used to do these little forms with my clients and I would say, you know, this little quadrant over here. And I would say, well, what goals do you have? Well, how's your life going to be different if you hit those goals, and what's going to be different if you don't hit those goals? Right. And obviously what's going to be different when you hit those goals. Right. So I think that's important. Like if you don't hit those goals, what's going to change? And if you do hit them, what's like, what are those big heartstrings? Because I want them to constantly look at that. There's going to be times, obviously, in competition or in weight loss journeys where easy weight's off, the easy part's there, but then now you really got to grind. Yeah. And things really become difficult. And they're going to go, I want to quit, or I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to have an extra snack. I'm not going to tell them about it. I'm going to cheat. And I think if they can always sort of go back to that, here's the original reason why you wanted to do this. Here's that deeper rooted reason. I would just bring that back up. Hey, you know, 3 months in, we're 30% to your goal. You know, we're 20% off where we thought we would be. Let's just recircle back to why we originally got here. Let's just make sure we still have the same reasoning why you want to lose that weight. Has anything changed? Yeah. No, actually, I'm more dedicated to that now. Well, then why aren't we hitting those? Or why are we cheating on the meals? Why are we not hitting those workouts? Why are we not getting the cardio in? You know, you haven't taken those supplements, you know, if it was zinc, magnesium, digestive enzymes, whatever it is that we've put in there to help with some sort of balance and discrepancy in the body. Why aren't you taking those supplements? Like what is certainly not cost. It's not, you want the goal. Why aren't we taking it? How do we get those habits, or how do we circle back and get you to being out? And that's where like adjusting someone's lifestyle and habits, I think, is always something we should circle back to, because then long-term clients will get there. Right. And so me paying attention to that is how I've kept a lot of clients for, you know, years and years and years. Right. And there's a reason why people come see you. I mean, there's obviously a reason why you guys have good reputations in the industry, because you guys take that level of care. So I know I'm not teaching you guys anything, but I mean, there are a lot of trainers who don't.
I'm always wanting to learn, man. You know
what I mean?
Very important.
It is important because, I mean, I'm sure you've been around trainers, like we just talked about it, but even regular trainers in the industry you see in the gyms you train at that aren't, you watch them, they're on their phones, right? They're talking to a good looking dude or guy or female next to them.
They're eating
a meal. It's 2 more reps and they're texting their buddy or something.
While they're eating. They're texting while they're eating.
That to me always drove me nuts. Like they're paying you to be there, or they're staying there waiting for you to tell them what to do next. Like, what do you like? So those are what kind of circling back. That's the kind of low level trainer that's out there. And to be that 1%, you have to, what we talked about so far, you have to exceed those expectations.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what set me apart.
Right.
Obviously what set you guys apart too in the industry.
Yeah. You got to have that care, man.
Yeah.
You got to have the game. People will know if you're fucking not caring. Trust me. They will know. Technically, I really don't know because I always care. I actually wouldn't know that because I put in so much fucking effort with my clients that it's exactly what you said. Like, I feel like if you're paying me $100 an hour, I'm looking at you underneath a fucking microscope that hour. Like, it's not fair to you for me to be eating and snacking and calling Dustin, hey, bro, what do you, 2 more reps, bro. Hey, man, yeah, anyway, this weekend, what are people doing? And then you wonder why you're making no fucking money and you're broke.
Yeah, that shit blows my mind. I mean, no matter what, like, whenever I'm training somebody, I don't let them pick up a weight. You know what I'm saying? I rack everything. I do everything. No, you take your rest. You do your shit. All right, cool. Just make sure you're over here. Cool. Check their form. If their form's not in the right body mechanics, body pattern, or whatever the case may be, I'm gonna make sure that I correct them every single fucking time, even though that I've told them every single fucking time. But I'm gonna tell them again. But that's the level of care, right? One thing that I've seen in the industry that I'm curious about, I guess I would like you to talk about is. You know, every great, or well, I believe every great trainer is always going to meet the client at their level, right? And I've seen it all the time to where these low level trainers come in there and they get this person and they feel as though they can work this person out as though they would work out themselves, but they haven't assessed the body. They haven't done anything in that regard. Like, what do you have to say about all those?
Yeah, so that's where proper assessments come into play, right? So meeting someone where they are, if their exercise age is 3 weeks versus 3 years or 3 decades, you can't assume their body to respond the same way neurologically as either one of those examples. So doing a proper assessment, I think, is super important, right? But also not just doing assessment, be it static or dynamic, doing different functional patterns that are pretty important to know. Do they move well?
Yeah.
Do they move without pain? And so if you don't do those assessments, how do you know how to program anybody? Right? So if you're just pulling something off of like bodybuilding.com and you're just printing it out and, hey, we're just going to do this, use all these machines, and we don't know how to set the machines up right, or you don't even know how to do a proper, hinge pattern, that's for my program. That was, I wouldn't train somebody unless I had this 3-step assessment.
Absolutely.
And for me, if you couldn't dedicate 3 hours to these assessments, then I can't train you. And that's just where I got into the industry. It was too risky for me, because now you wanted me to accelerate something, just throw you into a program, again, take your money. I didn't like that. I got to a point where I didn't need anybody's money. I had a successful career, still do. And if I take someone on, I need to do, to this day, I need that assessment. And it's certain calipers, which would be a biosignature, through Paul Quinn, which gives me a good amount of information. It's a static and dynamic assessment. It's also a movement pattern assessment. I do some cardiovascular stuff too, depending on the person. But there's some component there. But I'm noting I need benchmarks. I need to know ankle foot mobility. I need to know, shoulder mobility. I mean, can you move through a healthy pattern? If you can't, it's not smart for me to put you through a loaded exercise. And that's just what it is. Some people think that's moving too slow. That's fine. I think it's safe. And thankfully, I've had no injuries with my clients. They'll blame me for being sore the next day. They'll blame me for not being able to sit down or stand up or whatever because they're sore. But it's always a running joke. Hey, I blame you, Andrew. I mean, put it all on me. But none of them have gotten hurt because of my attention to that detail. So you absolutely cannot put someone who's new to the gym through just a randomized exercise because that's what you do. And I think that's important to know how to assess somebody. And when you get that data, what do you do with it? How do you actually program for that person? So, I mean, but that's where some good certifications come in. If it's, there's many certifications out there through MAT, I think is a great program. Again, Paul Quinn has some great programs out there, which he's dead now, but the programming is still there. He has some awesome stuff. NASM has some great stuff through PES and CES. I think they have some great programming there too. But I think it's compiling all that data and utilizing bits and pieces of it as you need it for each individual client.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I was about to say, man, like, you seem like a science guy. Are you? Like, you lean more science than like hardcore training?
He just wants to know. I believe you want to know the answer. You want to know the why.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll say this. I'm not going to be, I've done all of it. I love different band work and, chains for progressive overload. And, I understand. I want to understand the science behind it, right? I want to understand like what it is that we're actually trying to do and what influence these loads at different angles are going to have on the body. But at the same time, I do have to understand too that traditional boring exercises work too. Like I don't need to change or reinvent the wheel with different straps on my wrist doing reverse flies instead of I can just take the handles off and grab the ends and do a reverse fly.
Right.
We can change supination, pronation, we can go higher angle, lower angle, and we can hit different parts. I think that's super fair to say that programming wise, you can do different angles and hit different parts of the body a little bit differently, but I don't lean on that full science only section, but I do analyze it in probably a more scientific way than the average person.
Right.
But again, I train some clients who are doctors and that are very knowledgeable, and I have to be able to speak that language.
Yes.
And that builds value, and that, I'm telling you, that gets referrals. They know, I know the anatomy, I know the body, I know why we're doing exercise. And they go, hey, why are we doing this? They're not questioning my reasoning truly. They're do I actually understand what these muscles do, what the origin and insertion is, what's their primary, secondary, movement function is. And if you don't, then why? I feel like you have to as a trainer. And I always got on, like, you ask them, like, with trainers, like, hey, where's the AC joint? And they're like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, But you're training someone through shoulders. You don't know if they have any impingement or if they have any sort of entrapment of nerve or if they have any damage or any inflammation. Like, why are they not functioning right? Why are they missing 20 degrees of shoulder flexion? How do you analyze that but still have them do an overhead press?
Right.
Like, that's a problem for me. So you have to understand the science to some capacity.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or maybe a lot of capacity.
I totally agree. But I think like there's base science, and then like I think people go way too overboard. You know me and Chris, you know what I'm saying? We super old school guys. When we go in there like during the age where we throwing shit around and we're building the muscle. You know, and I think it's worked for me, it's worked for Chris. But I agree, you have to at least know the base fucking science before you just go throw some underneath something, you know? And I do think getting MRIs, getting you know, x-rays, really MRIs to figure out exactly what the hell's going on is super important, man. Because all people come to me, yeah, my shoulder's messed up. Okay, cool. Do you have an MRI? No, I'm too broke, man. I don't want to get an MRI. Or I have the money, but I'm too lazy to get the MRI. I'm like, bro, then what do you want me to fucking do? Like, there's so many things that it could be. I could do my best guess. I could try to figure it out. And usually I do a pretty good job. But man, it always annoys me when people have injuries and they're just afraid to get that MRI. Because I think it's because they don't want to know, you know? They're like scared to find out.
That's probably a true assessment on that because, again, working with clients, doing some some soft tissue work over the years, I can give my best guess too. And I think that's a proper, an assessment as well. As if I promote that as a service, I can do some muscle testing. I can use a goniometer and gauge where your range of motions are. I could do some palpation through some muscles and gauge sort of where some resistance in that tissue is. Maybe it's coming from the hip, contralaterally. Maybe it's at the shoulder joint itself or the shoulder girdle. Maybe it's hip flexors are too tight and it's pulling your hip into a rotation that's causing this asymmetry in the left shoulder versus the right. There's many ways we can analyze this, and we could probably come to a pretty good conclusion, but we don't know until you get your scans. And I have a great example. When I was working with a client, she moved phenomenal, squat great, but she always had pain. Lunge, no problem. She had good
lower back or what?
Low mid back, like thoracic spine issues. And it didn't make any sense. We would do different loaded carries to kind of gauge some different weaknesses through the trunk. We would do different bridges, different planks. I would do different rotation patterns, hinge patterns, and things actually moved pretty well, but then she still had some pain. And it was really strange. I said, you know what, here's what I want you to do. Like, we got to get a scan. There's got to be something going on. And man, her scoliosis was so bad.
You didn't know this before?
Externally, you didn't see it.
Yeah, wow.
But when she brought this scan in, it was such a curvature.
Wow.
And I was taken back. I go, I don't know how you even squat. Like, it made no sense. And it's for me. So that changed my perspective on how I should train her.
Yes.
Although, like, she could squat, we know that's going to create some damage down the road. Mm-hmm. So is it smart for me now as a trainer to overload her in that, that squat pattern?
Yeah.
Or should I overload a rotation pattern, being that her body doesn't have proper degree of rotation in each vertebrae? The answer is no. We should compensate. We should change the patterns that we're doing to still stimulate the body for growth and change. Yep. But we shouldn't do some of these complex patterns that are going to cause damage down, further damage down the road.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't know that unless we got the scans done.
Exactly.
So I'm big on scans, big on lab work. And I think if you're a trainer that takes your career serious, again, a career, not a job, you should take that pretty serious too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how many people I begged to go get shit done and they just won't fucking do it. So it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, that is almost like blood work. It's a must. You have to figure out what the fuck's going on. And if you were just like any other trainer, you wouldn't have cared. You would have kept squatting with it and would have just made it worse and worse and worse. And eventually one day you ain't squatting no more. Like me, if you have a bulging disc or herniation, I personally not the biggest fan of squats. Like I feel like eventually you're going to get hurt. And I did for sure. I don't even think you ever squat. We never ever programmed squats for him. You never squat.
I haven't squatted since, I don't know, maybe like 2 years.
And he's got some of the biggest legs ever, honestly, in town for sure.
I did squat freaking the last off season, but
yeah, but probably not heavy. No. Not like 4 plates.
I did 4 plates on a
Did you?
Smith.
Well, that's a little different. That's okay. Even that's okay. You know what I'm saying?
But I would rather do a Smith because I know I can control it a little bit better. I don't have the,
I agree.
Hold the balance or whatever the case may be. It's just one single movement. So if all I got to do is press, then I would potentially do that. But if I was doing actual back squats, I don't really go too heavy anymore.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who have altered from doing back squats. I mean, I was a big back squatter, heavy deadlifter. I mean, I enjoyed it, but I do have some degeneration in my lumbar that causes some pain. I'm not a big fan of barbell squats in general, back, front. I'll do some goblet squats here and there, but I mean, I'm a big fan of pendulum squats, hack squats, lots of lunges.
Leg press.
Sir.
Yeah, so
vertical press, love it.
Yeah, so there's again, so to that point is there's different exercises you can do that doesn't have that same stimulus that you're going to grow your legs and be massive.
Absolutely.
Because I think people still believe that a barbell back squat load, no matter what bar you're using, you know, that's your best route to getting better glutes or legs. And I would argue that every day of the week.
Yeah.
There's definitely better options.
Absolutely.
And most people don't
Safer
like
options.
safer options. And I think that's, as a trainer, you should understand those programming guidelines of, hey, we can't do this. That's fine. We can do A, B, C, D, or E. And there's many other different acute variables that we could change within those to make those even different or better, or just, you know, again, make them better for the day based on their recovery or wherever they're sore. You could just alter things up.
Yeah.
So you should know programming to that level.
Right. What do you feel
That
about
had changed.
diet? Like diet guys, like science diet guys, and then you got like the old school bodybuilders. So I'm gonna give you a little backstory. I am very old school. Like I don't think anything good has come in the past 20 years of fucking dieting. They've gotten softer. They've gotten more out of shape. They don't want to do cardio. They do a lot of muffins. They do pizza and shit. So where is your head like mindset on the science like based on the dieting?
Honestly, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I pay attention to this when it comes to the principles of fitness and what's changed. And obviously different modalities people utilize. They create new machines and they create new avenues to hit the same end goal just to be different, to be sexy online, right? To make a post for Instagram or whatever. But the principles have not changed. The core movement patterns haven't changed. Very similar to the principles of nutrition. The same information is being regurgitated in every book. Like there's been virtually nothing different except the quality of the foods changed, right? We can talk about dyes and chemicals and GMOs and all that stuff that has altered our gut health and everything else. So that would change our absorption of healthy nutrients and obviously how the body responds to it. But that's a different layer. As far as the approach goes, I think the understanding of food really hasn't changed. And I think all these fad diets are actually only causing more problems, more metabolic disorders that people don't even know until it's too late because they're doing all these different yo-yo and, you know, crazy different routines because their coach says so or because their favorite, you know, celebrity or whatever influencer is doing it. And I think as a coach, you're probably going to run into more people with more metabolic issues, more down-regulated receptors, and it's going to be more of a challenge because you have to break them out of not only the mindset, but also how their body's now been altered.
Right.
So I would agree with you on that one, honestly.
Yeah. Because it's tough, man. I'll get these plans and I'm reading over the plan and I'm like rice cakes, yogurt, not even almond butter. Sorry, Dustin, but all your almond butters you really love. Okay. Trash. Okay. It's hard to get conditioned when you're doing all those off season. 100%. No problem. Right. Even though it's a big one. God. What's the flavor gangs like rice cereal or whatever?
Oh, like the elevated
What is it?
shit.
Yeah, you ever look at the back of those, bro? You know,
I would never. Why would you eat?
do you
that
know
in
how
your
much
fucking-
artificial sweeteners in the back of those? There's like
shit ton.
3 different ones.
And then there are people that are still adding like a scoop of protein. In
Exactly.
That shit too.
So that's 4 different artificial sweeteners
Like,
in
what
one
the
bowl of
fuck,
fucking
bro?
oatmeal.
Yep.
So it's mind blowing to me, right? And I'll get these plans and I immediately up their food, make the changes, go to healthy options, straight up, like 100% organic, like maybe not organic, but Walmart's not organic. You know, Walmart's chicken, that's steroids. But I'm just saying, like, go into solid food and they immediately fucking change. And like, wow, coach, how the hell did I lose 3 pounds of water in 3 days? Okay, well, we cut out all the bullshit. Like, and people, I think what it is social media, exactly what you said, man. It's social media. They see these, oh, wow, he's getting that? How was he getting that? Okay, well, he's getting a muffin before the workout every day and he's in prep. How does he get that? And not fast forward in time, that person got last call outs at a show or that person got nowhere near in the condition needs to actually win these shows. So I think that's why we're doing so well. I'm doing so well because I've literally just embedded that old school mentality and that nothing's gotten better in 20 years. So I'm back in time, Ronnie Coleman status. And that's what I'm preaching.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. I mean, honestly, those fitness, I'm a big fan of high protein nut butters. I mean, when Nuts and More had an original formula back in the day, I would eat so much of that. And I'll still be pretty lean. If I'm being honest, though, it's because I was probably taking some things that no matter what I ate, got me. I was lean anyway. But for like natural people, which is more common, there's no wiggle room. You can't get away with all that stuff, right? So you have to keep it very specific. You have to keep it dialed in. And there's not a lot of wiggle room there. And I was the same way whenever I don't diet for much anymore as it is. I mean, I might lean up a little bit because we're going to Vegas or I go to Dubai or I go to these other places. I'm going to be by the pool or something. I want to look lean. I want to be the fittest dad at the pool, right? And that's where I'm at now, man.
You know what I mean? Shit.
Right? So I want, kids be like, dude, your dad's jacked.
Yeah.
And luckily I get that. So I want to maintain that. Yeah. But I get competition like lean, like single digit, low single digit, veins through your lats. Like you have to be dialed in. And you got to say no. Like that's the thing. And where people they look lean anterior, like their abs are popping, right? We got some veins in their forearms, but they're never really lean.
Yeah.
Right. And that's like when you look at people like Jasper Price, who I don't know if you know who he is, but
I do. He's local, right?
another local coach. Dude's shredded year round, like peeled, like the skin super thin, vascular, forehead to toes, man. But I've worked with him for years. Good buddy of mine. His nutrition is like stupid dialed in. He used to walk around the gym, dude. He have a Ziploc bag full of chicken breast, sweet potato in there. He I don't think he's ever strayed from his diet as long as I've known him for like 15 plus years.
Wow.
That dude is,
So he's like, come on then.
dude is insane with it. And when he coaches his clients, it's scientifically based. He's very science mindset, but it's to the T. Like, you have to do this, and this is what the expected result is. And if you don't, you'll never get there.
Yeah.
And he's talking about being a walking billboard. He is like a walking billboard. Like, he just walks around. If you pull him up, he's just super lean all the time. Whereas people who try to get away with the muffins or whatever, don't get me wrong, I like some sweet foods too, but
100%.
I will never expect to be lean,
Right.
or have a gut that's not semi-inflamed and eat those kind of foods.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to be dialed in.
So we haven't talked about that yet, right? So, being that walking billboard and whether or not you want to, as a client on the side looking at this person, is this the guy that I want to train me, or would this guy be the guy that I want to train me?
Boy, we're talking about fat personal trainers.
Exactly.
So what do you got on that, man? Fat personal trainers, bro.
I mean, those are,
Give us your thoughts, man.
Listen,
That's what Dustin wanted to say.
yeah, I mean, I think that's a fair statement. Anybody who's known me in the industry, I'm heavily against overweight, out of shape personal trainers. Trainers who are physically overweight, trainers who smoke, who go out and get drunk, who are doing drugs, who show up late. I'm against a lot of things that trainers do that I see on a regular basis, right? So I think as a walking billboard, and this goes back to my early days. This is what I learned from people like Joe Priya and these guys who were the billboard, right? We didn't do a lot of marketing. We were the walking marketing. People came up to us and were like, "Dude, you look great. How do I want to work with you?" Just, they don't want to know if you know anything. They want to look like you. They can tell you're dedicated, because you're not gonna be 40 years old and be lean like every time they see you. Like, you're obviously committed. So that was always my takeaway. Was I always felt like, at the very least, even in my early days, to be a good trainer, I had to look the part. So I hold that true. I know a lot of people sometimes stray from that. They go, I can be, a 280-pound trainer, belly hanging over my shorts, sweating my armpits, eating terrible, right? Eating Snickers, like hiding in the back office, eating Snickers, but then telling my clients to eat chicken and broccoli, and I'm still going to be a successful trainer. I personally, I don't think so.
No.
There's a place for the average looking trainer, because there's a progression of clients that say, I relate to this person because they look like me, and I think someone maybe like you is too fit,
Too intimidating.
100%.
too intimidating, right? And so I used to battle that, especially with older clients. When I was bigger, say 240s, and I was double XL shirts, I'm vascular, like I probably look like a straight meathead. There's no way this guy could handle an 87-year-old lady who has Alzheimer's and this, and this, right? But then once they talk to me, and they're like, this guy's actually pretty nice. He's pretty knowledgeable. Like, I want to work with this guy. But right off the bat, I don't want to work with this guy. He looks scary. He looks big. He's a meathead. So you got to find that balance, I think. And that's honestly, as I progressed in my career, being like 220, 225, lean and like healthy looking was a better look for me. I got less negative feedback from that than when I was like bodybuilder, powerlifting guy. So I think there's a balance, but I think you gotta look the part.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't you guys agree?
100%.
Yeah. Okay.
You got to talk to public relations, be like, look, man, do I look better, less intimidating at this weight or this weight?
Dude, the clients will tell you though, man. I mean, that's the thing is, and I think it's interesting because I would notice people just like, they'll look at you in the gym, right? When you're bigger, when you're leaner, people either come to you and they want to be with you, or when they sit down with you, let's say it's a kickoff at a gym, and they sit down with you, they go, hey, listen, just for clarity, I don't want to look like you.
I've heard that.
Right? How many times?
A million times.
And you're like, well, that's okay, because it doesn't happen.
Probably never will.
And it doesn't happen overnight. And that's especially if it's a female, like you'll unless you completely change your genetic makeup, you'll never look like me. So we're safe.
Yeah.
It's not that easy. And unless you're running a lot of gear or something like that, females' physiques don't change like that.
No.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So you got to bring that wall down. Like, listen, that's fine. I don't want you to look like me. Like, and my wife doesn't want to look like me either.
Yeah.
Like, so you got to like bring that wall down, make a couple of jokes. But I mean, I used to battle that quite a bit until you start breaking it down and bringing that value and say, hey, listen, I understand where you're coming from. Like, I understand, like, you might think a certain thing of me, but let me build some, let me show you why I'm not that guy.
Right.
And so that would be almost the first objection. It wasn't money. It wasn't I got to talk to my husband. It was, I don't want to look like you. I need to know that you can train me appropriately. So on occasion, you might reach, a roadblock where you're too fit and people almost don't want to work with you. But for the majority of my career, I mean, even the way I look now, I still get people who want to come train with me, even though I don't market that I train anybody ever. It's all word of mouth. But people, they come up to me and they say, I want to, what do you train? How do you eat? What do you bench? What do you lift? Right. And it just opens the doors. And next thing you know, you're talking, yeah, I'm a trainer. I've been a trainer for 23 years. Here's my business card with, 40 different certifications and, accolades. And next thing you know, I'm getting email and they want to train with me.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I can fit them in, sometimes I can't. Like I say, I only train about 10 to 14 hours a week realistically. But me just walking around fit, you walk around fit, it gets attention.
Absolutely.
And people they want to look like you and they see that as a dedicated person that knows what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, basically, I'm sitting at a pool with my lady and stuff at her mom's new public. Well, she got this nice little area, and now they have a nice, beautiful public pool, whatnot, with like little walk-in, whatever. So I'm chilling there with the family. We're hanging out. I'm eating a meal, and this guy comes up to me, Indian guy. His name was, I believe, it was Ranjit. He comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, man, you guys look great. I was just curious, what gym do you work out at?" And so I from there flipped it, started talking to him, got his number, and he said that same exact shit. Well, I don't want to look like you. I was like, hey, I don't want you to look like me either.
Yep.
Not a lot of people can get here, right? It takes a lot of time and dedication. I want you to be the best version of yourself. Now, what do you want? What are your goals? And I kind of flipped it on him. And then from there, dude, got his number and everything like that. He actually hit me up the other day. So,
dude, and it's
just simple. Right there. I didn't do shit. I existed.
Let's say you were fat.
Right. Not going to happen.
Getting drunk, smoking.
He wouldn't have even noticed me.
Right. And that right there, I think, is proof of why you should look the part.
100%. I think it goes way more than just making money and being a good person in this industry. I think when you walk in, no matter what, my buddy Justin, he does general contracting. When he walks in there and this motherfucker's 260 and looks like a fucking unit, people are going to take you seriously, bro. Like, people are not going to take a fat person seriously, like in everything, not even just personal training, especially in personal training. But I think like there comes a point where I give older people a pass. You know what I'm saying? Like Kenny Wallace, spent a lot of time with him this weekend, right? One of the best posing coaches around. He isn't the most in shape, but he's a little bit older, man. Like, there comes a point where you could take that time off. You could be a little bit out of shape. Who's the keto, whatever his name is, a Body Bio.
No, well, Kimoto.
Kimoto, yeah. Okay. You ever see him? He's older, he's out of shape, but it's okay. It's fine. I do think I give those guys a pass, but if you're young, man, you're 21 to 50, I don't give you a pass. Like, you need to make sure your shit is in order.
Honestly, there's exceptions.
I don't agree. I think that.
You think 60, 70-year-olds?
For me, if I'm going to continue to coach, no matter what, there's going to be some level of a fitness in my life, period. I don't care. Like, I've done it for this long. Why the fuck am I going to die at 60? Sure. I feel like now you're dead. Now you had this fitness age, right? And now your fitness age is dead. Now you're fucking dead. And all you're doing is coaching. You're passing on your knowledge. I don't feel like that is a viable spot. I think that Kenny Wallach should be healthier. I think that would help him out a lot better in terms of his quality of life. I think Kimoto should do the fucking same thing. Yeah. I don't give a shit what your.
But I think it is. I think for these people, man, that
your resume is,
have been doing it. They almost like you don't have time anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah.
That's where the problem is, and that's where I kind of want to get your insight on is like, how do you balance? Right? I don't feel like I should be balancing right now. I'm 32. Right. I want to be busting my ass, but I do think there comes a point where you're like, dude, if I'm going to spend all this time working, if I'm working 17 fucking people a day, what time do I have for myself, man? I'm sure you were feeling that. Like, so how did you make that switch? You'd be like, I got to make the sacrifice and do it, because that's where I'm stuck at right now.
I just want to interject with that right there. I think there has to be non-negotiables, period. There's non-negotiables in my life, regardless. I don't give a fuck. If there's a certain thing that I want to do and I have to do it, and there is a habit involved in achieving that goal, it's a non-negotiable, and I'm going to make it happen.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great way of putting it is. And so for me, I'll pull the layer back a little bit, because going back to when I first started working out at about 11 with my brother Austin, and I was hooked, right? So I mean, my dad worked out. He got my first weight bench. And once I started working out, and back then I was kind of small, just get picked on every now and then, right? So I had some, I used to watch Dragon Ball Z and stuff, right? I mean, dude, I still watch it with my kids, man.
Yeah.
I love Dragon Ball Z. It's awesome. But dude, I used to think about this. I wanted to be yoked.
Yeah.
I want to be muscular. I want to eat a bunch of food. I want to be jacked. I want to be powerful and strong. When I wrestle, I want to be the strongest dude in the mat. Powerlifting, all the same. Those habits I created at 11 to be competitive with my brother first and foremost, and then to resist against these dorks who tried to pick on me, and they did successfully pick on me. But then once I got bigger and people recognized that, you know, it wasn't going to be as easy or it wasn't going to happen at all, that changed, right? So now I'm like, I'm hooked. Like I'm bigger, I'm stronger. Like people weren't picking on me. I'm doing great at sports. It was who people, that was my image. Like that's who Andrew stood for, but even back in high school. Now further on now, like this, like people don't know me other than being fit. Like that's just my whole life.
Right.
Like my wife is fit all the time. My kids are in all sports, gymnastics, wrestling, football. They're all ripped. They got abs, like they're lean because they eat good. We instill it. It is our lifestyle. So it is a non-negotiable.
Absolutely.
And I don't know what to do with my day if I don't get my workout in.
Yeah.
Like it is a point of mental clarity that I get my workout. And I used to be worse about it. If I missed it, I'd be a little more agitated. I find a way to get it in every now and then. At my last house, I built expensive ass home gym with everything. So I never missed it. And once I sold that house, I put that money into an outdoor kitchen and a pool and everything else, right? So I kind of reallocated, but I still get my lifts in. And when I'm training that many clients, like I make time for myself. Either I'm getting up really early, I'm sneaking a little 15 minutes in throughout the sessions, or late at night, no matter what, I'm getting before I work out.
Yeah.
I have to get my lift in. Otherwise, I'm not recovering. I'm not recharging my own batteries. I got to fill my own cup. I mean, you can't be pouring into 17 clients a day, giving everything, and then still have time to give to your wife or give to your kids and give nothing. At some point in time, you're going to crack. You're going to have a meltdown. And so for me, non-negotiable, I had to get it in. No matter what. If a client canceled, I'm training. If I got to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm training.
Yeah.
If it was 10 o'clock at night, I'm training. Like I got to get in. I'm the same way now.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to get my lift in, take it serious, you know, and I get zero pushback from my spouse, which I think some people do get a pushback on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Is,
for sure.
I mean, my wife, she trains all the time. And I mean, for fun, she does a couple cycle classes at Crunch. She loves it. She loves cycling. And then Vince, you know, wanted her to coach, and now she coaches twice a week. But she wants to go train. I've never pushed back against her working out. That's her outlet. She loves feeling good. She loves looking good. I think sometimes she admits she tries to compete with me looking good so that there's a 1-to-1 ratio there, which is cool, but I've never once said anything about it. But she's always in great shape. But it's a non-negotiable for her, non-negotiable for me. And now for my kids got to work out. Like I don't force them to. They want to work out because they see their mom and dad.
Exactly.
So this is, for me, I live this. Like you live it. It's easy for me to be passionate about it because this is literally what I do. This is who I am. And so when I coach clients, it's easy for me to come off passionate and authentic because it is.
Absolutely.
Like it literally changed my life, and it's going to change my kids' life, and I'm going to instill that in them, and they're going to have the same impact on their kids. And so I'm trying to create this culture.
Yeah.
And as many people as I can impact over the years, but I've literally trained thousands of people, be it in person or from a distance, in group setting or otherwise. I've trained a lot of people, and I've hopefully left that impact, that I was passionate and that, you know, it could change your life as well. And I think I've also received a lot of feedback that it has.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
100%, man. And I think, you know, you guys all know what happened with Ronnie Coleman, right? I don't know. I don't know if we got any updates, but I think he's still in the hospital. He never stopped. Never stopped. How old is he? He's probably like 60 something now, right? 66 maybe. Don't quote me on that, but he's never stopped working out. And I think once you go through it, and you were a small kid, you said, and then you started working out and you got picked on and you got a little more muscle, and then no one picked you on anymore because who's going to fuck with you? You're huge, right? I think when you get that, and I was the same exact way. I got picked in high school as 4'11", super small. Once you get that as a man, you don't want to lose it. You know, like even now, as much work as I do, as busy as I am, I coach my son in football 4 days a week. As busy as I'm still never missing the gym ever. Like I go 5 days a week, no matter what. I've been taking Saturdays and Sundays off recently, but sometimes I go. If I got time, I go, but I try to make that balance, right? How many times a week do you go to the gym?
So honestly, that's my schedule right now. I battle it because we got wrestling practice and, you know, we got, you know, tournaments, and I want to be at all these different things for the kids, but definitely 5. If I can go 6, and sometimes I'll go with 7, even if it's just cardio and abs. I just got to get out of the house, go do something.
Yep.
Sometimes like my kids ask me to go work out, which is cool. So even if I've already trained, I'm going to go.
How old are they?
So I've got my oldest is 15.
Okay.
Right. So I got a 10-year-old. So he's at Lakewood Ranch playing football. 10-year-old who's my little wrestler. Then I got my 7-year-old who's a gymnast. So she's, hopefully she'll be on team silver. She just hit her first final competitive season. All these, they all like to work out. We got stuff in the garage. We got all the mats and all the things, a bunch of kettlebells and stuff. I don't have the same kind of gym, but my community's got a pretty good gym. So it's very easy access to go there and get a workout in, or, put the sleds in the grass so we can all run the sledge around and stuff. Well, my kids like to train, and I'll write little workouts on the whiteboard, and I'll have my 10-year-old do his workouts. Mm-hmm. My older kid wants to go train. So if he asks me to go to the gym, doesn't really matter. Like, I'm going.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that was how I was with my dad. Like, my dad, he wanted me to work out, but like, if I asked him to train, like, he would work out with me.
Yeah.
Then once I showed interest, he bought me a workout bench. He bought me dumbbells. He's like, dude, have it.
Yeah.
And I would just train. And I never stop. So, 5 days a week is kind of where I'm at. I get that question quite a bit because I think some people think you train every single day, twice a day and stuff, which I think is probably overkill.
For sure. Yeah. I remember back in the day, I probably missed maybe 2 days out of the year back in the day. Like, we're talking like 4 years ago. Never. 7 days a week, it was my thing. If I didn't go to the gym, I feel like an absolute fucking bum. Like, I would not start my day unless I went to the gym. And I think that's how Dustin probably is now. I'm sure you're itching to get there.
Especially
because you're prepping and you're fucking there.
Yesterday, when I got in from fucking New York, I was just like, all right, I'm going to take a nap. And then I'm just going to do cardio and get in my steam room. And then I tried to close my eyes for like 5 minutes, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to the gym.
Yeah. Because that's like our happy place, man. Like, I said this before, man, that's our Disney World. Like, when you wake up Christmas morning, your parents are like, oh, guess what? Like, we're going to Disney World today. That excitement you get when you go to the gym. I feel like, do you still get that feeling or not really?
I do. Depending on the gym I go to.
Yeah.
Some gym has like some odd energy that kind of throws me off. But as long as I have the right music, I go there with intent.
Yeah.
I know what I'm going to train. And, I still get excited to go to the gym because it's my outlet. So I would say, yeah, for sure. Some workouts I'm not looking forward to, because I might write them up. They're going to be hard, or I don't feel as good that day, but I'm pushed through it. But always by the time I'm done, I feel great that I did it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. And I think you mentioned that you kind of touched on this is that those little wins that you start your day with, whether it be a workout or if you journal or whatever you do, those starting your day with a win perpetuates your day, right? So if it's in business, if it's in relationships, I think it helps. You looking good, you feeling good, I think makes you a better business person. If you're in great shape, I think people look at you different. I think having good habits will make you a better business person, better spouse, better coach. So, I feel like if I can, my consistency going to the gym, your consistency, attributes to everything else you do in life.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So like when I was competing, and I've done a whole bunch of weird stuff, but I did 3 years of competitive, like obstacle course racing and military style races, right? 24-hour day and night cold, races and stuff. When I was doing that, dude, my training programming was probably the dumbest thing I've ever done.
Just straight overtraining everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
All the time. And I had nerve damage because of it. I successfully did a whole bunch of cool stuff, got a whole bunch of cool medals and colorful things that are in my closet. It was a challenge. I hated running. It was a challenge that I wanted to get better at running. I wanted to compete. I wanted to place. And I wanted to do some of the hardest races that people said you couldn't do. And I completed them. And then for about a year, I had nerve damage in my left foot. And it took a long time to get that, about a year, to get that back to functioning right.
Wow.
And so that was 3 years just because I wanted to get out of bodybuilding, powerlifting into bodybuilding. And then that was my edge into that kind of training. So like, but I got excited about it.
Right.
It was still something to train for that got me excited. So I would say like if I'm training for something, I'm way more excited than if I'm just training to train, but I still get excited.
Right.
I have a long-winded answer, but yeah.
Right. But I think even if you're excited, even if Dustin's prepping, there are days that you just don't want to fucking do it, bro. There's days that I walk in the gym. Yeah. When I look at everything, I'm like, dude, do I really want to do this right now? Like, I'm fucking tired. I just got done working 12 hours. I just got flying home. I'm fucking dead. But it's consistency and it's discipline, right? Like, especially when I was prepping. Even now, like, I go in the gym, my shitty workouts are probably people's best workouts they've ever had in their whole fucking life. Like, and I'm still feeling like a failure. So I think it's just consistency, man, that people need to understand. Like, and they're going to look at us and they're going to think, oh, we're always motivated. We're always excited to go to the gym. Bro, there's a lot of days when I'm just not. Like, and even in prep, even when I was in my highest, man, there's days that I walk in the gym, I'm just tired, bro. Like, I just got to fight my girl fucking 10 hours, fucking, I'm got getting beat. I'm just being honest. Like, got to get beat, bro. I don't want to work out right now. Like, I have so much shit in my head. Like, and you just fucking do it. And you do it. And I think consistency is what makes the biggest difference.
Yeah, I would definitely say so.
Let me ask you this. So when you're in that, I know what drives me, but when you're in that mode, if you don't want to do it, where do you go mentally that says, shut the fuck up and do it?
Well, it's just not being a little bitch, straight up. It's just not being a little bitch, and I'm going to do it because I'm a man and I have to do it, straight up. It's that simple. I told myself when I was young, when I was 11 years old, I would never miss 2 consecutive days from the gym. And to this day, all the vacations I've been on, all the trips I've been on, I've never missed that. If it's that third day, I'm going to the gym. 100%, there's non-negotiable. So I told myself that when I was a young guy. So I'm always going to be like that. So that, to me, since I've been doing it for so long, I have no choice but to go that third day now. Like, I will stop everything. And even if I don't sleep 10 minutes, I don't give a shit. I got to get to the gym. And that's just what, but yeah, it's not being a little bitch, straight up. Like, you're just going to fucking do it.
Yeah. I mean, I would honestly agree. When you make a promise to yourself, I mean, if you're going to let yourself down, why would you expect other people not to let you down?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I hold myself accountable. So, I mean, for me, I always kind of tap in when we got kids to like, is this a good example? Like, if I'm going to give up on a hard day, but I ask my kids to keep pushing through a difficult time, even if it's just a workout, right? But it's not. It's more than that. I think it's a deeper rooted, like, emotional tie-in that if I'm going to break a promise to myself, then I mean, what else am I going to? I mean, it's the bar is just going to get further and further away, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to set a goal. I'm going to be okay to not hit it.
Yep.
So for me, like, I always want to get that lift in. There's those days again, I'm not as motivated to do it, but sometimes I'll sit in my truck and I'll find that song with the right frequency just to kind of get me going, or I'll go hit the elliptical just to get some blood flowing, get my mindset right, and then I'll sort of just maybe I have to change the order of operation up. Maybe I'll kind of work myself back in a couple, auxiliary movements to get things warmed up until I get that fire kind of kicking in. I'll adjust until I hit it, but I will finish that workout. And for vacations, I mean, I travel a decent amount per year. I book hotels with good gyms or close to really good gyms, especially if I'm going overseas or somewhere. Like, I need to be next to a gym. Cruises, my wife and I, we don't miss workouts on cruises, on vacations. It's just something that we don't do. If we're on a cruise, we take the stairs. We don't take the elevator.
Yeah.
Like,
It's too easy.
We want to be fit. We want to do the hard thing because then we can reward ourselves.
With all that good food.
I want to reward myself, right? So I want to touch on that as well. Is I think rewarding your clients, cheat days and stuff like that, right? If you haven't hit your goal, how do you gauge that or you earned a reward? I'm the same way when it comes to buying watches, buying nice cars and stuff. If I haven't earned it, I'll do the same thing with sushi. I love sushi. I eat sushi every day of the week. But if I haven't made money that day, if I haven't completed that difficult task, if I haven't replied back to all my clients, how do I earn any sushi? I can afford it any day of the week.
Yeah.
But like, I always want to reward myself. So I teach that to my kids. I teach that to my clients. And I don't know how you guys operate that way, but I will work on a reward system. Yeah. Whether I can afford it or not, if I don't earn it, I don't buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that for sure.
So, I mean, that's the way I operate too. So like same thing like with the workout. I'm not going to miss a workout because then it'll fuck my whole day up.
Yeah. And don't you feel like, I don't buy nice shirts. I don't buy nice shoes. I don't buy nice pants. I'll buy a nice fucking watch. I'll buy a truck. I'll do stuff like that. Like, do you feel like you buy stuff like that because it motivates you? Because me speaking, for example, like, it motivates me knowing that I have that truck. Like, when I got my truck, dude, I was like, I'm going to go fucking harder now because I have this. I just bought a fucking truck. Like, I want to go hard. I just bought a watch. I want to go fucking harder now because I want to deserve it. So that's where I go. So even when I was younger, man, I would buy stuff that maybe it was a little bit out of my budget, right? But I would get it, but then I'd work my fucking ass off to make sure I could pay for it. So it was that was my thing, when I was younger. You feel like the same way with you? Like, you buy like nice things because it just drives you and motivates you?
100%. I mean, anyone who's seen my progression in my career, in my taste for cars and stuff like that, it's always been, I need to set that bar further. Now, I've always been a car person, but going way back in the day, if it was buying like my Jeep SRTs or my Hellcats and stuff, those are those $70,000, $80,000 SUVs or cars that was what seemed to be outside the budget for like a trainer.
Yes.
But I could afford it, but like that made me I need 2 more clients.
Yep.
Right.
That's it.
I get the Porsche Cayenne, I need another client. Right. I buy the McLaren, I buy the R8, I buy these cars. I need to set that bar up.
Yeah.
Right. I get the Rolex, I need to do this. But I only buy those because I earned it. Right. At that point, once I got past that point of I could afford those vehicles in the beginning, right? But it was like a little bit out there.
Yeah.
I knew if I just picked up 2 more consistent clients, easy, right? It was fine. And then I switched the gear a little bit and I switched over to higher end exotics. Those you can't just set that bar out there because you got to qualify for them. So now I had to actually be successful to actually put down $100 grand on a vehicle, like just for a down payment. And great cars, I love that experience. But now what I do for work now doesn't require that, right? So I've had a couple cool Raptors and a couple cool vehicles. My wife always has a nice car. I want her to drive something nice. And so now I'm there. I need to maintain that for my own personal reasons, right? But it's not about image as it once was. Once was, I want to pull up with McLaren. I want a VIP and I want to have the Rolex on. I want people to look at me and go, hey, what do you do? And they would ask me if it was training or if it was what I do overseas. It was, I want to have that conversation with people. And now I don't need that to accelerate. My career is almost like lower key now, where I don't need it. So now I drive around the Raptor, got an Apple Watch on. I sold all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I wear Lululemon because it's comfortable.
Right.
But like, dude, I've got the same clothes I've had since I was in high school.
Yeah.
Like it sounds silly, man, but like, I just don't care. Like my wife has to tell me to buy new underwear. Like I honestly, I don't give a shit. And dude, it's funny because like I have to force myself to buy a new shirt.
Yeah.
You will see me in the same photos years apart wearing the same shit.
Yeah.
I don't care. I've got money. I can do things. I go on trips with the kids, but like I don't value that. And that's just me.
Right.
I want my wife to look nice and she wants things and I'll get it for her. My kids all taken care of, but like, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it did motivate me though.
Yeah, that's just
100%.
success. You know, that's just success. That's why you see all these actors just walking on like flip flops, shorts, and because they don't give a shit anymore. Once you have it all, it's fun to get it once. Like me, like I got my truck. Okay, it's fun, but I kind of want to upgrade a little bit. But it's not like I'm not desiring it. I'm not like I need that. I already have 250. Like, what am I getting? Another fucking newer 250? What the fuck's the point? Like in my mind, I'm like kind of satisfied in that. And I think it's good to like humble yourself, man, and know that like, you know, you don't need all these fancy things to be successful and to like go, because you already are successful. You know, look at what you've done. Like you said, you're providing for your family, and everything I've heard, it's so much less about you. It's all about your family now. And that is good to hear.
I don't know what else it should be about.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like,
you'd be surprised though.
I think we all have our selfish tendencies to like want things, but like that was also another thing too, is I never did anything or bought anything that would put my family in jeopardy.
Yeah.
That we couldn't afford something.
Right.
Right. So, I mean, if we couldn't, you know, if my kids couldn't do the sports they want to play, or I couldn't afford the homes, like we're leveling up. So now it's really about the house. It's about the kids. It's about their accounts. It's more about investing. Like I invest in different gyms now. I invest in different companies that actually pay me things versus me spending it on a car that looks cool, but every single one of them depreciated.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, every watch I've ever owned for Breitling or, you know, Rolexes, I've sold them, either broke even or lost money on it.
Yeah.
It felt good as an accomplishment to purchase it. Like who doesn't feel good spending 23 grand on a watch?
Yeah.
Just to wear it around. Like it's awesome. But then it just sat in my little watch box that just spun around. I see it in my office and I'm like, pretty cool. That's a nice watch.
But I could probably open up a business with that. So,
but I'm like, dude, I can invest that and I can make more money.
Yeah, exactly.
And eventually I'm like, it's just I feel stupid. Right now, I would only buy the more expensive bottles of liquor. Like I'm not a big drinker, but like it was always like the expensive bottles. I mean, I've got a bottle that's worth $4,000 in the house.
How the hell?
Just sits in my office.
Yeah.
Just for the fuck.
It just sits there.
Does it feel good sitting there though? Do you like it?
I like it.
You like see? Yeah.
I'm not gonna sell it, but I mean it's because I could.
Yeah.
And it was cool. And but now I couldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna give that one away. It is signed by some pretty cool people, but nevertheless, I don't care anymore. There was a moment money was coming in, and it was like as a kid, I always wanted those vehicles. I always wanted the, you know, if it was, you know, Louboutin shoes or like I wanted to like wear like nice things. But dude, honestly, I think that's all bullshit. I think it is such a money grab for these companies. And honestly, it's all white label shit anyway. Like you can buy the same shit at Target for $8 a shirt. You're gonna spend $200 for it at some specialty shop at a mall. And, you know, so for me, again, a $50 shirt that lasts me years, like unless this thing gets ripped off, you know, in the dryer or something.
Nice fucking shirt. I gotta say,
it's a nice shirt. These Lululemon shirts they fit
I
good.
gotta go to Lululemon, I guess.
They're nice, man.
Yeah.
And trainers get 25% off.
Do they really?
Yeah, man. So I get a little discount on it.
I don't know that.
Yeah. So I mean, that's just where I'm at. I mean, you reach that point where again you set that bar to where you're going to achieve it. But I'm super content with my Raptor. Like I love that. I like that car more than any other vehicle I've had.
Wow.
It's so universal. I can throw my Rottweiler in it. I'm not worried about my kids spilling something in it, but like higher end car, all that Alcantara, all that like that nice carbon fiber. So I don't want.
Yeah, don't die.
Dude, take your shoes off. Don't no drinks, no food.
Yeah.
I kind of felt like a dick.
That's kind of like my biggest pet
You know what I
peeve,
mean?
man, is when people buy things and you don't actually live in them. Like, what's the point of having a nice house if you don't live in it? What's the point of having a car if you don't actually live in it? What's the point of having a nice fucking truck if you don't throw the fucking kids in the back all dirty and shit and go down the street? Like, I've never understood that, man. But I guess when you get to that next, like a Lambo or something, like something McLaren, you don't want to just trash it, but then you buy these nice things and you don't actually live in them. Like, you're okay with your Raptor because it's comfortable and you get to live in the Raptor, you know?
Yep.
So
Yeah, it just makes things more comfortable. I mean, go ahead and finish your thought. We're running out on time here.
No, it's all good. But that's
we could talk forever. I know that.
yeah, no. But I mean, I think there's a healthy way of setting setting that bar up for you to achieve it. If it's a materialistic thing, I think there's a healthy still range there. But I think, like you said, maybe the house or having 25 grand in your kid's bank account or whatever. I think
Absolutely.
Whatever those goals are, that there should be a driving force for you to be successful. I mean, above yourself.
right.
I think now it's the kid stuff, and I couldn't care less about the cars or having nice shoes or expensive belts. Don't care. Again, you look at my closet, dude. It's literally the same shit. Minus a couple new shirts and shorts and whatnot, but like the majority of it, I've had it for years.
It's all about family at the at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, I mean, 100%. And I think that's a mature progression in life.
Exactly. You had all the fun. You did what you had to do. You experienced it, and then at the end of the day, you're like, it's not really worth it. It's worth it as the family. So
It's not, but it is. Yeah, it is about the kids.
for sure. But now that's
About the kids.
awesome. We greatly appreciate having you on and all your insight and your wealth of knowledge. Thank you so much for being here, Andrew. And it was a pleasure meeting you.
Dude, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, this was our first time meeting.
One of the OGs, man. One of the OGs in Sarasota. I don't think people understand how long this guy's been here and how much I heard your name coming up, man. Like Andrew, Chris Massaro, Andrew, Chris Massaro, Andrew, coaches Chris. And then it was just like you were just out there, man. I love to see all your success, man. I'm sure you're going to continue to be successful. And we will definitely have you back on. So
Awesome,
Dustin,
man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
tell them what they got to do, man.
You already know. You got to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, hit the bell notification so you know when we're posting more of these videos. But, at the end of the day, I hope you guys have an amazing one. Much love, many blessings, and we'll see you on the next one.
Let's get it.